So I think the Neumann TL103 microphones are the best microphones to get for spoken word on the market, regardless of price. You know, so many people say, like, regardless of price, but I mean it. You know, I mean it. Regardless of price, these things are amazing. And you can use it for ASMR. And again, these are mainly for spoken word because they roll off the sub bass, because you don't really need that for spoken word. But for ASMR, if you want that low end rumble, you don't want them to roll off the sub bass. And there's a lot of condenser microphones that do not roll off the sub bass. But these microphones are designed to sound extremely natural, extremely flattering, and extremely polished right out of the box, so that you're not messing with EQ as much. So they do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. They sound bright, clear, articulate, shimmery, clean sounding, extremely transparent, extremely smooth, extremely well tuned. But the microphone you should get, because these things are over $1,000 to get the shock mount and everything. But the microphone you should get, and it's discontinued, I think anyway, or it's just it's going to be phased out most likely. The microphone you should get is the Rode NT1 4th Gen. You can tell it's the 4th Gen because the grill is black, the body is black, and if you get the shock mount, then you know for sure it's 4th Gen. Even the 4th Gen no longer comes with this Rycote shock mount. They phased that out. So this is just the box. I no longer have this microphone. I just sold the microphone. I just kept the box because the box is extremely big and the microphone is extremely small. Well, it's smaller than the box anyway. So, I just shipped it, without the big ass box, But, I owned 3 of these microphones, and I've owned a lot more expensive microphone than these. I've listened to just about every single microphone to ever exist. And this thing, was pretty high ranking above most microphones, regardless of price. So you can still get these, the 4th Gen. Okay. So, I could show you technically, to some degree, why I think the 4th Gen sounds better than the 5th Gen Rode NT1 that has like a silver grill. And it has like a lot of writing on it, a lot of marketing on it. It's big letters, Rode NT1, all that, or something like that. It's, so when the microphone's on camera, anybody who sees it is going to be like, oh, that's they basically just plastered marketing material all over it, so that people who watch your videos are going to be like, oh, I want to buy that, and it's labeled right there on the microphone. So it's free marketing for Rode, to have their label imprinted on everything. But those black 4th Gen Rode NT1s, the treble, the upper mids sounds pretty clean. It sounds a little bit mangled, just a little bit. And in that regard, the Neumann TL103s alleviate that. They sound a little bit smoother, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more transparent in the treble, less mangled. The Neumann TL103s are the only microphones I've ever used that I could actually say sound flattering. Every other microphone I've ever used kind of just degraded the sound quality. Lumpy, funky, harsh, colored, unnatural. I would listen back to my recordings and it just didn't sound right. You could hear dark spots, lumpy spots throughout the frequency response. I was actually able to memorize the sound of the microphones I was buying over time. I could, if I listened to it I could tell you what microphone it was. I memorized the sound signature, the tonality of this microphone has this peak, this tone. It has this tone that I don't like. And I basically played a microphone hot potato for a very long time. I would buy a microphone that I already knew I didn't like. I would listen to sound samples and be like, oh yeah. I would look at the frequency response. I'd be like, oh yeah. But I would be like, what else am I going to buy? What else am I going to buy? And I would buy it and I would listen back to the recordings and I'd be like, yeah, it sounds exactly like the sound demos I was listening to. It sounds exactly like the measurements I was looking at. I don't like it, but I would use it until I couldn't take it anymore. And then I would find another microphone to play microphone hot potato with, and there's the Neumann TL103s here. I've been using them for quite a while. I have zero plans of ever getting rid of them, ever replacing them, ever, these actually sound flattering. They sound better than real life in a lot of ways. When I listen back to them, there's absolutely nothing that I hear that bothers me. The tone, like I'm listening to myself right now, and it sounds like me. It sounds so goddamn smooth throughout the entire response. These Beyerdynamic DT990 250 ohms with Warren ear pads have the smoothest treble, smoothest mids, smoothest bass on the market. So these are extremely transparent sounding. So my voice going into the microphone and then coming back to me through the headphones. Extremely transparent microphone, extremely transparent headphones. It sounds like real life. The Rode NT1 microphone, 4th gen, they got pretty close. But you know what happened when I bought this originally? I actually contacted Rode and I was like, this sounds kind of harsh. Is it supposed to sound harsh? And they're like, send it back to us and we'll have a look at it. I was like, no, that's fine. It's just like, I was a little shocked, and it had like this dark spot and, the upper mids and treble sounded a little bit, I wasn't happy with it. It took me quite a few years to actually buy a Rode NT1 because I didn't like the sound of it. I thought it sounded kind of like a condenser version of a Shure SM7B. Honestly, I think the SM7B has better, cleaner upper mids than the Rode NT1. But the Rode NT1 has a brighter, clearer treble than the SM7B, more extended, more treble information. While the SM7B sounds more nasally, stuffy, needs a shit ton of gain, has audible preamp hiss. Rode NT1, less gain, lower self noise, overall, with a preamp and everything. So the Rode NT1 is definitely where you should start, but only the 4th gen. It's kind of, audio is very strange like that. A lot of companies will make a new version. Like, I recommend the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pros. These came out quite a few years ago. I don't think they make them anymore. These have been phased out for the Buds 2 Pros because that's how a lot of technology works. They just come out with a new version. And sometimes they screw up the sound. The Buds 2 Pros, the treble doesn't sound as clean as these. It's got a hole in it and shit. And so it's not as smooth and transparent as those. So, the new Rode NT1s, what I think they did to them is they boosted the treble a little bit. And upon doing so, it actually intensified the coloration problems that were already on the Rode NT1. So I thought the Rode NT1 had a little bit of coloration problems in the upper mids and treble, like I said. But I think they did something probably to the circuit board that, emphasized the treble to make it brighter and clearer, less neutral and dull. And when doing that, it intensified the coloration problems to the point that it was actually fatiguing to me to listen to the point that I no longer liked the sound of it, and I found myself liking the sound of a lot of other microphones that it was being compared to in sound demos. So, You know, the fifth gen Rode NT1s, the signature edition. I think they sound the same. The fifth gen with the built-in USB and the signature edition, which is only like $159 or something, which is really cheap. You know, they lowered the price, but it doesn't sound as good to me. So I would still recommend getting the black Rode NT1s if you can't afford Neumann TL103s. And again, they do have better sub-bass extension. But that's all I wanted to say. Maybe I should. Got a lot of dust on this shit. God, that's concerning. There's going to be a lot of dust on the diaphragms. That's one bad thing about having expensive microphones. And also the Simgaudium 6Ls. Extremely natural, smooth, diffuse field level treble, warm, boomy 10 decibel bass boost, 2.8 kilohertz ear gain scoop for a wide soundstage. Amazing. They all have. This is the best. Okay, I'll see you guys later.